Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over. Warning.
Hello, everybody. Um, that was, I feel like I start all of these off by saying that was a game, but that was certainly a game. Um, so the Habs lose, what was it? 3-5. This is what I get for not paying attention eventually. The Habs lose to the LA Kings, and it truly sucks. So I'm trying something new here. Uh, if you can see, for those watching on the internet, on YouTube, I've got our chat on stream, and so we can kind of see where everybody is. Excuse me. Um, man, that one was kind of depressing because I think at one point it really felt like they had it, and they very much did not have it. Um, I think the thing that, like, sucks about a game like that, sorry, just turning off my phone. I think the thing that sucks about a game like that is, well, first of all of us Eastern time people stayed up for that, and it sucked. It sucked so bad. Jesus, I should really know what the score was. I just remember at one point going, "Do I want to pay attention? Do I really want to pay attention?" And unfortunately, I'm a sicko and I kind of had to. Um, but apparently I've already erased it from my mind. 6-3. Oof. Okay, that's with the empty netter. Forgot about the empty netter. Um, well, first, I want to say hello, everybody, for joining me. Um, I know it's not exactly the kind of game that any of us are hoping to talk about, but c'est la vie, I guess. I think they broke me. I think they broke me here. This was a hard loss to swallow, I think, because the entire Atlantic Division is swinging to the right side, and the Habs have just decided not to. And although I know that technically being in this portion of the rebuild where they're so inconsistent, but they're not so bad. And of course, they're not ready to win yet. But I know, like, intellectually that this is going to happen and that this is part of the rebuild. But it's not like it doesn't feel good, especially because, like, we did get a lot of hope. I said on the internet somewhere, maybe Twitter, maybe Blue Sky, who's to say, I said, this team sucks because I, like, had just, like, genuinely started believing in them, and then they started doing this. So, yeah, chat says, uh, the worst part of this game was that they scored just enough to keep the hope alive. If it had been 4-0 after the first, I could have just gone to bed. Yeah, and they kept us engaged. I think especially that last period, it really felt like LA almost found a way to lose. I'm not sure that the Habs were necessarily finding ways to win. I think that was LA finding a way to lose. And I would have taken it. But also, how about that hilarious goal? That first one, by Matheson, quote unquote, but it was more like by two Kings players, and perhaps Kemper's mask. So maybe this is the karma I'm getting for forgetting that it was Kemper in net last night. Or last night we were talking about the Avs win, and I totally forgot that it was Kemper net, and I wonder if this is just celestial revenge, I guess. So, yeah. I just want to give people a heads up. I don't really have a direction I'm taking this one. Again, I had a few things I wanted to talk about, Line A, not much to say about that. Dobesh, maybe. Um, the Mailloux, maybe the defense pairing of Mailloux and Matheson. Uh, what this means for the rest of the season going forward, I don't know. We already talked about tape, Outrage says. Actually, okay, I do have something prepared for that. I did that earlier in the day where I promised you guys a tier list. So one of those tier list makers that I did for various different types of tape. Now, if you're interested, I can show you that later in the show. But that is done. It's made. I found quite a few different types of tapes to put there, including that the athletic tape that like I don't even know if is real. So yeah, we got stuff going. I did do a tier list. Yes. Bernardo says Savard is brutal. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was a hard one, and it's funny because this is the one that like last night I was like, "Oh, Savard's fine. I can live with him." Not sure I can. Um I was actually watching a show from some Avs media, and they were talking a little bit about different trade targets. Hint: Jake Evans was top two, but one of the like top 20 ones. So the ones where they're scraping the barrel, but like think that it could be semi useful. David Savard, and I was like, oh man, if man, let it be like Dallas that takes him. Let it be the I don't even want to go to the Leafs. No, I won't do that to him, but, like, let it be one of the ones, you know? Um, and yeah, it was a rough one. It was a real rough one for him. Um, yeah, Chris W says, "Finding positives. I liked Beck's game again. That chance with Hudson pass, Beck's shot was pretty." Yeah, um, I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of Beck this time around. I think few times he kind of just floated out there. Even when Heineman was gone and he had the opportunity, he just didn't. It's hard. I'm not, I'm not dogging the effort. I just think he was feeling it, the confidence, you know, everything was going, and I think I'm glad to see it worked for him. I'm happy to see it work for him. I still don't think he's ready for 3C. I don't feel comfortable having him on having him take that role on a team that's competitive. Apparently, Bernardo says that the Stars already have the all-star right side of Dumba, Lubishkin, and Cece. Uh, and I believe that Dumba is playing relatively well, question mark, or he's not playing at all, or he's not playing a lot, is what I mean. I don't know which one it is. Either way, I want the Stars to suffer, and I feel bad for saying that David Savard going to a team would be suffering, but man, like it's the nicest thing I can say about him is that he's the kind of player, the kind of defenseman that a coach falls in love with. Um, yeah. So I once again did the thing where I'm not logged in to the correct YouTube account. So if I were to say something in the chat right now, you would see it on my um personal account, which is not what I want actually. Try to get I am going to try to self sit again. Apologies for that. Um yeah, no, who cares? It's fine. I figured out Smart. Um, yeah. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Um, I'm just kind of depressed. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm just kind of sad. I think like this team, it sucks because we saw a really good version of this team and then things just went wrong. Um, I am not kidding when I say I think Emil Heineman was a big part of the success of this team because as I said on that show, post game versus the Sharks, when I was trying to explain to Steven what was going on, I explained that like this is very much a team that gets it done by committee. It's not, nobody's carrying. Like nobody's carrying. And so when you're getting it done by committee, you need every single person pulling their weight, or you need enough people pulling their weight. And the fourth line was a big part of our success. And with the fourth line losing Heineman, it was hard. It rocked them. Again, I kind of had an idea that it would be this, not this bad, but I figured it'd be bad. I figured it would be hard, but um, the loss of Heineman plus losing Gooley, I genuinely believe this team could have gotten like I know they lost like what was 2 or 3 by the time they lost him. Um, I I think that they could have gotten it back together. I remember I said, if Gooley is out for an extended period of time or like any amount of time that's not one game, this team is screwed. And I really didn't like I don't know. I was hoping I was being over dramatic. You guys know I'm like, I love Caden Gooley. So I was hoping, some part of me was hoping that I'd be wrong and that I was just like hyping up this guy because I really like him. Unfortunately, I think that plus a few other things, some shooting luck drying up, Line going on a cold streak, the power play, all those things, it's bad. You know what? Let's talk about the power play. I'm going to start off period one by talking about the power play. Or, I mean, period one has been going, but, first part of this show, let's talk about the power play a little bit. Um, Bad. That's all I got, man. Bad. It's bad. It's annoying. It feels like there's no creativity. Outrage says, what power play? Exactly, what power play? Um, Martin says, I honestly don't care anymore about this year, but management better find someone to play with Demidov next year because if we ruin him, we're doomed. Nah, I think we're fine. I don't think that like we're at risk of ruining a talent like Demidov. I mean, I'm not challenging them. That's not a challenge. That's not any sort of challenge. I'm just saying that um I think Demidov's the kind of guy who can make it work. And I think there's enough pieces here that can make things work. I think right now we've got a first line, which I'm also going to talk about the first line a little bit because I'm disappointed in them. And I don't necessarily mean their play because I think they've had like a few moments where they did what they needed to. I'm a lot more disappointed in what I'm seeing like actually on the bench. Um Zone entries, what are those? Drop pass one more time, I swear to God. Yeah. Martin says unless he plays on the top line, there's nobody on the roster to play with him right now. I don't think that's true. I think we're I think right now Kirby Doc just is not driving a line. Um, I wonder if like Demidov can be that piece. Um, New Hook has looked really good, honestly. But when Alex Newhook is the best part of your top six, not a good sign. Um, we got Newhook, we got Doc there. Uh, I believe Line there for when is Line's contract up? I'll take a quick look at that. So his contract is up 20 I feel like I'm going insane. What am I reading here? Um, expires in 2026. So 1 year. Yeah. Honestly, I think Line is what he is, which is inconsistent, um, and supremely talented. Extremely talented. He's the kind of guy you take these slumps with. We just got to see him get back together. Um, I think Martin says the way I see it, Line is obviously back to his old habits and he's not going to stick around. New Hook blocks at the third. Doc might not even be re-signed if he plays like this next year. I understand it feels like that right now. I genuinely do. And like, trust me, I almost feel that way too. Um, but I think Line will get it back together. He's still I don't think he's quite where he needs to be. Just in terms of practice, practice, practice. I think that I think it's gonna take him some time. I think he's always gonna be inconsistent. I think that's just the kind of player he is. Um, I saw him do some good things today, and then I also saw him look some invisible. I also don't like I don't let's just say I'm not ready to give up on Line A. I think I'm excited to see how he fights back against this. Martin says, I'm sorry, I'm just pissed watching these guys coast. Totally fine, dude. Like, so fine. Um, I'm too tired to like really get all that mad, but I was mad. And yesterday I genuinely had to like really watch myself. Because I didn't want to say something that like I think I started the Ducks post game by being like, I might say something I don't, believe. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Franco says 8.7 million, not worth it. I mean, we didn't sign that contract, right? Like, and who knows what his next contract will be. I'm just not I don't think this is a productive player to have a conversation about right now. I know we're all like again, nobody has to feel a certain way. I just think that like I just think we need some that one needs some time. Doc is really inconsistent. We've seen like moments of what we'd really hope to see. I still don't think we've seen that guy that everybody was saying could be the 1C over Nick Suzuki, like, when he was at his very best. I was very, like, annoyed about that online because I was like, the one thing about Nick Suzuki is the consistency. Um, you can't buy that. Like, you can't dock the way he was playing in that moment, and this was back last season before he got hurt. As like, sure, like, if he keeps playing like this, yeah, maybe, but we have a larger sample size for Nick Suzuki. So, yeah, I think that's kind of I'm not saying I told you so, but I am saying I told you so in terms of consistency has been a struggle. I think even Nick Suzuki is struggling, but like this just team looks a little struggle bus. Um Bernardo says, I think we have to remember that this team was unironically one of the best teams in the league for like a month, which is very funny looking back. They're just too inconsistent. It's normal for a young team. Uh, ZSSIK says, Zisk. Says, I think this team just looks tired and really needs this upcoming break. Amy P says, yes, at least Suzuki gets a real break this year, so no all-star game. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I think this break is gonna be good for this team. I almost wonder if Line and Yoel Armia being off together, buddy buddy on Team Finland will be good. And I don't necessarily mean that as if I want Patrick Line on the fourth line, but um the fourth line is given the responsibility. Like when Heineman was around and Evans and Armia and Heineman, they were getting heavy minutes. So yeah. I'm gonna check for some post-game quotes, and I'll take a sip of water while I'm at it, and I'm going to We'll get caught up on the chat. I was watching back last night's show and I was like, girl, when you're taking those big ass sips, like we can all tell you're stalling. But I swear sometimes I'm just drinking water. Um, yeah, usually I check Priyantha Emret's feed, but I figure that that's like it's very late. Probably most reasonable people who aren't sickos are asleep. So, yeah. Hey, please, um, any, you know, just looking to see. Okay, you know what? If you guys see anything, anyways, I think one of the good things about this game, and I know it's hard to see, I looked over at my notes like right now, and when the first bullet point that stood out to me was terror awful, and I was talking about the power play. And then I said, power play one is going to hell. They are. I swear they are. I mean, they're already there. It feels like it. Yeah, I think, what did I say I wanted to talk about? Power play. Yeah, okay, we're back on the power play. Good. Not good. I almost am starting to wonder if Marty should be starting power play too. We're seeing way more out of those guys. Um, I'm also wondering if maybe it's time to break up some of the power play one. Um, I think that maybe either Cole or Line A get demoted to power play two. And it's less of a demotion for them, and it's more of going with the hot hand of power play 2 and giving them a weapon. Um, I hesitate to do it for Line because I don't wanna do anything to his confidence. Um, and also, if he's not, like I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? If you would you take off either Line or Caulfield from Power Play 1 and put them on Power Play 2? Not as a demotion, not as a demotion at all, but as a new strategy. And if you would, who would you take off? I think Alex Newhook, again, 5 on 5, and um on the power play has been great. He's been so good. He's been speedy. He's good at just catching guys off guard and pushing them back. Yeah, the zone entries. Bernardo says demote one of Cole slash line and bring up Newhook. He seems like the only one that can make zone entries right now. Yeah, I think that's my kind of my thought on that is his speed is like I love Nick. I love Nick Suzuki so much, but that drop pass is just not working. They're not getting in the zone, or if they are, they're not getting set up. And if they are, it's just one shot and then out. And that's not a sustainable or a good power play. That's not how that works. I was actually thinking about this because Hadi Kalikesh, Hadi K Scouting, I believe, K as in the letter, not my name. Um, he kind of talked a little bit about Franco says take out 92, bring up 40. We are not bringing up UL Armia in space of line A. Thank you. Yeah, Hadi Kalikesh, Hadi K underscore scouting on Twitter says the Habs have a clear issue taking creative liberties, no pressure solving passes, just making the puck someone else's problem, one rim pass at a time. This isn't hockey, it's workplace on skates. Not my problem, you do it. Um, yeah, and I think that applies doubly to the power play. Um, I know power plays are all about systems and set plays, but the systems and the set plays aren't working. Um, and I just think that like you got a player like Nick Suzuki, you've got a player like Lane Hudson, both of whom are so smart. Why not let them improvise? I know it can create chaos, and I know this team is chaotic in general. So because of that, like it's a little hard to swallow maybe, but make it happen. Hey, listen, if they don't know their next move, their opponents won't know their next move. So that's something, right? Okay, you know what? How about this? How about we talk about the defense pairings? I'm specifically interested in talking about the two AHL guys, or the one AHL guy on defense and the other AHL guy in Owen Beck. I touched on him a little bit before, but I'm just going to touch on him again. But before I do, I am going to hand us over to Andrew of earlier for our ad for Inchoo Bijoux, and I will see you on the other side.
We are so excited to tell you about our new partner here at Game Over Montreal, a delightfully witchy goth and glam jewelry store making handcrafted art that varies from subtle silver to gold pieces to glamorous bespoke. Inchoo Bijoux is more than just a company. They've built a community through advocacy and a welcoming attitude that has made them an institution here in Montreal. Located in the historic Chateau Saint Ambroise, Inchoo Bijoux also runs seasonal themed markets called Maleficarum Market or Marché Maleficarum en français, where artisans from all over get together and showcase and sell their wares. Drop by 4000 Rue Saint Ambroise, Suite 278, and say hi to Astrid and the Wicked team, or head to inchoobijou.com and enhance your style. The next Maleficarum Market will be on the weekend of February 8th and 9th. We'll see you there. Now, let's get back to the show, but before you do, make sure you subscribe to Game Over Montreal, Game Over Network, and smash like on this video because it really helps us out.
Hi, I'm back. Totally doing that on purpose. You guys caught me. I was actually just testing you. So, yes. I was gonna say, let's talk Beck and Mailloux. Let's start with Mailloux. Um, I bet my face kind of told you, probably said something about, man, this is a loaded topic. And I'm going to start this by being like, and I'm going to stop saying this. I'm going to stop giving this disclaimer because I'm tired of saying it. And instead, I think just gonna give it one more time and not again. Um, I do not like Logan Mailloux. It is a very hard sell for me. I wasn't happy when he was on the team. Um, and yeah, I don't like him. I have a really hard time cheering for him. I'm sure that he did the work, and I'm happy about that, but playing professional hockey is a privilege. Anyways, so let me just get that out of the way. However, I am a professional and I am a grown up. So when I analyze his game, I analyze his game. Obviously, have my have my biases, have whatever, but I do my best to analyze his game in the most objective way possible. So, that's the last time I'm giving this disclaimer. I'm not going to say it again. Um but yeah. So, Logan Mailloux, I'm really concerned about the lack of development. The knock on him has never been his offense. So the goal he scored today didn't shock me. It's his second NHL goal, doesn't shock me. I believe he's had a few NHL points, assists. I don't know. None of that shocks me. What continues to shock me is the lack of growth in his defensive game. I just don't think he has the IQ, frankly, to play defense on a top four in a top four role. I'm obviously, he can grow, whatever. I don't like that we're not seeing any growth. I just don't like that. I feel like every single time it's the same kind of mistake. Um, and I see brain farts happen all the time. Um, we saw this problem with Justin Barron as well. Uh, but man, they got rid of Justin Barron. So, says something. I don't think that it's really, really he has the physical talent. He's such a big dude. He can skate. He has the shot. That shot, man. But the brain. Um, Amy P says, dude, if you're gonna play that deep in the ozone, you better be ready to book it back. He's very casual and yikes. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The penalty shot that he took, um, that like he was forced to take that because he made a bad decision. Um, and then Dobesh got scored on, and it's not. I don't know why they chose to put him in today, frankly. Amy says, I'd rather have Struble even as a lefty. Bernardo says, send him down and bring him Engstrom, please. Yeah, I don't know why they did it today. If they really wanted to give him the time to play, put him in versus the Sharks. That's probably closer to competition he can handle. No offense to the Sharks, but you know, even in the AHL, he struggled with defensive play. So, like, make it easier on him. Set him up for success. You don't want to set him up for failure like this. And I feel like just putting him in for the LA game, it wasn't a good move. And I'm very frustrated with Marty right now, I think. I know everybody wants to talk about the effort of the players and them not completing passes. Okay, but maybe Marty can do something about that. Maybe something can happen with the power play or sorry, yeah, maybe something can change on the power play. Honestly, the only thing of this team that seems to stay on track is the penalty kill. And that's not this team, that's a duo of guys. And it's Josh Anderson held together by tape as he is, just doing his job. He was snarly today. He showed some life. He showed some signs of like being alive. And that third period, they fought and they did all of those things, and they just were not good enough. The next game that this team has is versus the New Jersey Devils, who are a very good team. And I hate to say it because I find them and their fans so annoying, but they're a good team. And I feel like this one was a must win, but that's a must win. Um, I feel like they're probably out of contention for the playoffs by now. Um, unless a bunch of people in the Atlantic, a bunch of teams in the Atlantic just like fall on their ass. I think they're probably out of contention for the playoffs, but you want them close enough to be able to fight for it. You want them close enough that they can delude themselves into thinking that they can make it. You want them close enough that they aren't forcing the hand of their GM to sell. Um, and I think they gotta win. They gotta win. New Jersey, they have to win in New Jersey. In Montreal, I don't know, versus New Jersey. Bernardo says, I don't understand how they looked competent defensively for a month and have regressed back to this. It was the Goulet Carrier pairing. Man, it was. I don't know. I think it was that plus some like luck. Like definitely part of it was like other factors. Don't get me wrong. I think the majority of it was the Goulet Carrier, the Goulier, uh, the Goulet Carrier pairing. Um, and I'm not saying that like I think all of the team regressed defensively, but I wonder if that has something to do with like the mental side of it, in that they didn't have that safety blanket anymore. So now everybody's overwhelmed, upset, needs their blankie, and there is no blankie right now. Blankie is half injured. Blankie's leg is really fucked up right now. Um speaking of that, I'm trying to find it again. So Karina, who's a beloved mutual on Twitter, Goal Cough, um, so tweeted that uh someone, I'm sorry, I can't, uh Lavoie, I think, said after the Four Nations break, they will decide if Gully will return this season. The plan is to keep Dobish in the NHL. Um, they want to make sure Gully doesn't get an infection, so that's why they're waiting. Don't know what that means. Maybe they're waiting to make sure if Gully has an infection, the timeline is different. I don't fucking know. But we'll find out more. Uh, Bernardo says, imagine telling your kid that Blanky's leg is really fucked up right now. Well, it is. Chris says, took away Blankies and now everybody's sad. Me too, including me. Me as well. But for something good, let's talk about Owen Beck. I've been really, really impressed with him. Um, that first game that he played. So if I recall, like the order of operations was Owen Beck played one game, then Pizzetta was back in, then Beck played another game, and then played another game. I think that's kind of what it's been. Um, so I think Pizzetta played against the Ducks, and Beck's played against the Sharks, and today, obviously. So I think that first like stint before the All-Star game, the AHL All-Star game that he went back for, he looked pretty invisible. Nothing special, serviceable enough. Eh, it was very eh. But I feel like since he came back, the confidence and the comfortableness um feels much more solid. He's making plays, he's not deferring, he's using the skills he has. He's making smart plays. It's nice. It's good. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see his progression. Clearly he's young, so I do expect some inconsistency. I am still any day, all day going to take Emil Heineman whenever he's back over anybody else. Any HL player, frankly. Um, but that's neither here nor there. Beck is doing good. He's doing the best he can. I watched this team, and something I repeatedly noticed was how not confident they looked. And Beck was one of the only players that actually did look confident to me. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with Beck. Um, I'm gonna talk Dobesh. I have perhaps not a hot take. Honestly, it's not even really a take. It's just me kind of going, haha. not at Dobesh, but at things people were saying. I think that if Monty had played this game, people are calling for his head. And I don't think he would have deserved it, and I don't think Dobesh deserves it. He kept them in for the first part of that game. The first period, holy shit, for them to walk out with 1-0. Come on. Like, that's amazing. And even the second, I think there were goals that he gave up that were easy and that he could have kept out. Um, and it's fine. It happens. He's not expected to be a superstar all day, every single game. I'm not blaming him because the team really did play like ass in front of him. What I'm saying is if Monty plays that game, people are calling for his head right now. And I'm not calling for Dobish's head, and I'm not calling for Monty's head. And that's kind of all I really want to say is that I think people really got to ease off on Monty. I think they really, really do. And I I'm not gonna say that like Caden Primo would have been a better backup. Absolutely not. I'd still rather have Dobesh, and I still trust him to play whatever next game he's gonna play and play it well. Um, so yeah, that's my 2 cents. It's not really a hot take, I guess, but it's just something I want to say. Um, because I feel like people were really quick to try to push away Monty. Um, but one thing I'll say is that Dobesh's rebound control is so much better than Monty's. Last night I was watching the game and I was didn't talk about it obviously because they won. So what was the need to talk about it? But there were some close calls with those rebounds with Monty. He's not handling those well. Um, but hey, he won, so who care? Bernardo says we've got to talk about Monty absolutely robbing Celebrini last night at the end of the third. Yeah, he kept them in. He won them that game. Um, and that rocks. It's good to have a goalie you can rely on. And trust me, I was pissy that they were not shooting on Alexander Georgiev more because if they had, it would have they just need to shoot at a goalie and not at the post or not behind the net. So, I'm going to take us into our next segment, the third period, and talk a little bit about the first line. And I'm going to run our ad for Le Saint Motel, and I will be back to meet you. All right. BRB.
Looking to make awesome memories with your friends? Take some promotional pictures or videos for your business? Check out Le Saint Motel in Montreal's Sud-Ouest borough. It's an amazing selfie studio located in Montreal's historic Chateau Saint-Ambroise, right next to Inchoo Bijoux. It boasts 12 plus unique decors for you to enjoy and make memories with. Hop into their iconic heart-shaped ball pit or transport yourself back in time to Expo 67. Le Saint Motel can also come to you with mobile decor setups available to rent for events, including setup and takedown, or you can head to lesaintmotel.com right now for more details, or to check out their amazing decors that are always being updated. Now, let's get back to the show, but before you do, make sure you subscribe to Game Over Montreal, Game Over Network, and smash like on this video because it really helps us out.
Okay, I'm back. Just doing a quick check of something. Yeah. No, none of our players were above 50% Corsi 4. Closest we have is Cole Caulfield at 48.28. Then it drops to 45.16 for Slav and 44.83 for Nick. So, not great. Not very good at all. And that's even strength, obviously. Just checking the time on ice. Man, that's rough. That's rough. Patrick Laine played the least out of anybody on this team at 11:33. Yoel Armia, 11:48. Then it was Owen Beck and Logan Mailloux at 13:19. Um, yeah, that's hard. It's all right. It's all right. Line's a vet. He'll figure it out. Ooh, Bernardo reminds me about tier list time. Totally forgot about that. Okay, we'll go on that next. I just want to talk about the first line a little bit, and it has nothing to do with their numbers, the way they played, anything like that. But I am about to be an old head right now and say I hated their body language a lot of times. A lot of times this game, I hated their body language. Um, I hate the lack of interaction and the lack of talking on bench between them. I'm not thrilled with what I'm seeing. I just, we've got like Slav hesitating. He's not being decisive at all. We've got Nick trying and really not doing. And I hate to say it, but he's not. And Cole, all of them are just basically not. This first line's gotta go. Like, not as in they gotta go away, as in they gotta go. They gotta get started. Because if they're not going, nobody's going. I 100% believe that the confidence, this team lives or dies by the confidence of their first line. If that first line is carrying themselves like a bunch of big babies, the rest of this team is carrying themselves like that. And that's harsh. I know it is. And I know I'll probably feel a lot very dramatic looking back at this tomorrow. But man, does it like it sucks. You want to see those guys step up, and I'm not dogging on them because they have, but like, or they have in the past, but I want to see it again. This is not like this team is slumping really badly. They need they need a way out of this, and your big guys have to carry you. And your big guy cannot be Alex Newhook. I love him. I love the way he plays. I love his speed. It cannot be Alex Newhook who is lifting you out of this. Um, okay, first, before I kind of continue down that tangent, I do also want to say hello to all of our lovely people in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Again, just gonna remind you, if you like the video, please, or are enjoying the stream, please like the video. I'm here. I'm here anyways or not. Who cares? Yeah. So I'm around and I appreciate you guys being around with me. So, okay. Back. We're back. Ooh, Chris points out. Yeah, there was a post-game media recently where they were saying there was a lot of whining on the bench, which is discouraging to hear from the players themselves. That was specifically from Nick Suzuki. Nick Suzuki said they were talking about the calls and everything, and this was before they started getting calls again. It was that little portion where they weren't getting any power play time, which like fuck, I wish that's what it was right now because I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch this current power play, but hey. Um with Nick, he was kind of like, yeah, there's a lot of grumbling, a lot of whining on the bench, and it had stopped for a little bit, and now it's back, and I'm gonna take care of it. And that's cool. That's like really cool, dude. Like, that's great. Your captain, that's what you want to hear. You don't want a captain who's encouraging their players to be babies. You want a captain that holds their players accountable. However, show some life. And I don't mean that just from Nick Suzuki. I want this team to show some life. I think that's the one thing that was encouraging about this game is in the third period, I saw some life. Um, it didn't feel like they were completely dead. It just felt like they weren't. This team just wasn't good enough. Bernardo asked, when is Heineman coming back? I miss him. I miss my blonde prince. I'm actually going to do a quick check of when the I keep misspelling his name and I feel really bad about it. Uh Injury timeline, I guess. And remember when that injury happened and we were all like not at all upset about it. Like we were all fine with it. So, uh, so I'm actually on Reddit, Habs on Reddit. Somebody said on January 14th, they said 3 to 4 weeks. So now it's been a bit more than 3 weeks, and he's not joined the team yet for practice. He's been skating alone in Brossard, and he hasn't lost much in the conditioning, with it being an upper body injury. Um, yeah, let's see what happens. I would hazard a guess that it will be after the Four Nations break. By then it will be too late for this team. That if you're reading this, I'm already dead kind of situation. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. So I'm going to move us over into the last period. And in our last period, I am going to. No, you know what? I want to talk about one more thing. Um, can we like stop? Can we just stop talking about Shane Wright? We don't need to. Leave him alone. Stop. Like, I was so. When Habs fans were doing this, when Shane Wright was struggling and Slav was like thriving a little bit, and Habs fans were like doing victory laps, and I was like, guys, this is going to come back to bite us because Slav is going to slump. And it did. And now people are being insane about it. And it's not even Seattle fans who are being insane. Now it's Habs fans going back. I'm not like, leave Shane Wright alone. Leave the Shane Wright versus Slavkovsky thing alone. Outrageous people are still on that. Yeah, move on. It's dead. She's gone. Let her go. Jesus, like, let her go. It's not, we don't need to do this. Slav is slumping, I guess, but the entire team is. Like, the entire team is slumping. You can't just single him out when his line mates aren't doing great shit either. With Slav, at least, like, I feel like he's trying. I feel like he's not confident. I feel like the entire first line is somewhat trying. I don't think he's extraordinarily bad. And that's a low bar maybe, but the rest of the team has been. So he doesn't stand out. And that's hopefully you want him to be one of the players that helps you get out of the slump. But oh, come on. Get me back. Get me back. Back in focus. Okay, yeah. Hopefully he's one of the players that helps get this team out of their funk. But maybe he needs somebody else to get them out of the funk and then he can join in. I don't know. I think that the Four Nations break is going to be really good for this team, and I wish it had come a little sooner. All I'm gonna say. Okay. I'm going to reveal my tier list very soon. Um, but first I am going to move us over to our third period slash overtime. So I believe I missed doing overtime before, so I'm going to do overtime now. I'm sorry, Andrew, in advance. uh, so let's pull out that tier list. I'm sorry for everybody who is the on the web, or sorry, who's listening in audio and not here because you guys aren't going to be able to see it, but I will post the link in the description, and that will be also the podcast description. And you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, you can't follow along right now, but I got you. I got you. Just gonna open that up. So for those who weren't here yesterday or didn't watch the show, I got I went on a tangent about tape. Now I promise this was relevant because okay, here we go. I promise this was relevant, but we were talking about Josh Anderson being held together by tape, and then we went by tape. I hope you guys can see this properly. I'm just gonna label all of them, okay? So we got the Pride tape, got my favorite. We got the washi tape, which I can't believe I forgot about. So one thing about me is I'm an artsy girly. Like I'm an arts and craft girly. I like journaling. I'm not good at it and I don't stick with it, but I like it. I like all the aesthetic stuff. So I like washi tape. Excellent is double-sided for me. Then we got scotch tape, or sorry, packing tape, which is like good old packing tape. You know, good for everything. It'll take some of your paint off, but who cares? Um, then we got our medical tape, actually, which is something that, I didn't realize I had such a strong opinion on until I saw it, and I was like, yeah, that's excellent. That's excellent tape. Then we got good. Then we got our aluminum foil tape here. We got our I believe that's like hazard slash safety tape. Forget what it's called. We got duct tape. We got masking tape. And we got I believe this is white hockey tape. Um so that's good. Uh Duct tape is a funny one for me. Uh Something about it just feels vaguely creepy, but also it's a useful one. It's a good tape. Uh I know duct tape is mid. I know. I know. I feel like this is like not mid necessarily. So favorite is like absolute best, 100%. Then we got excellent, which is like wouldn't call it my favorite, but it's very, very good. So I'd put that at like an A. Favorite is like A plus. Excellent is an A. Good is like B. That is like higher mid. And then meh is kind of like I'd say like a C-ish. It's fine. Or like that's a B minus. It's fine. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I only have one that I really hate. So let's go to meh first. That's the athletic tape. I don't really know like what that does. I don't know if it's fake. I don't know if it's real. And I should 110% have looked it up, but I Googled all these images, I saved them, and that was enough homework for me, okay? Then we got black hockey tape. I hate it. I do not like that shit. Uh, it's ugly. It's real ugly. Uh, then we've got the what is that? Electrical tape. Creepy. Really creepy. Can't. I don't know what about it is so creepy to me. It's just creepy. I yeah. Something about it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Uh Then we got scotch tape. Uh, I will address the video review tape first after this. It felt like it wasn't fair to put this in this category. It's its whole category, you know? Yeah, scotch tape, it's mid. It's less than mid, frankly. It's never useful. Doesn't do what I need it to do. And I have the good stuff. I get good scotch tape, right? Like I'm big on the good stuff. It still doesn't work. And then throw it into a fire. Painter's tape. Painter's tape, you can go to hell. Frankly, you can go to hell. I do not like you, painter's tape. Um, Wait, scotch tape and excellent. No, that's so in excellent. That's scotch is double sided. I know it's like that's Scotch brand, but it's double sided scotch. So it's different. Scotch tape is just the plain scotch tape to me, which is like the blank one. But it's, like, not fully transparent, it's a little cloudy white, you know? That's the tape I don't like. Painter's tape, awful. Awful, awful, awful. Everybody's like, "Oh, you need to, like, handle it a certain way, and then it'll work." I don't, like who care I'm not doing that. It's not doing its job, come on. Why would I do an extra step? Do your job. Do your job, be good at being what you are, which is painter's tape. Like, that is all I ask of you. So that's my Bernardo disagrees with me on the scotch tape. I can't I don't know, man. I can't quite put it there. It's not it's just not doing enough for me. So that's my tape list. As far as video review tape goes, okay, so I thought about this a little bit and I was like, is it like, does it count? Like, is it really? It doesn't really count, does it? Like, video review tape is a different tape. However, if the video review tape means that they change something about this power play, if they look at their video and review it and go, that's ass, I'll take it. I will happily take that. So yeah, I can be here for video review tape. Let's put it on favorite, like depending on what they do with it. If they make changes, it's favorite. If they like, I don't even know. I either want it in favorite or throw it into fire. That's all I got. So yeah. I if you guys have any questions, I am going to log off like very soon. But if you have any questions, or honestly, if you want a, I'll put the link, or you know what, I'll give you guys a link to doing this, kind of to be able to make your own version of this. Chris says throw it into fire's NHL review from yesterday at 1 a.m. Yeah, throw that into a fire so fast. That offside tape review, that's like millimeters and it doesn't matter. And Matt Duchene, like you ruined everything. Throw that into a fire. Uh that goalie like puck over the line. That's not good tape. It's not good quality. Do it differently. Um yeah, so I'm not seeing any questions. Wait. I remember I put out a call for questions in on social media. So I'm just gonna do a quick check. I believe one of our lovely regular viewers and um folks who I love very much said something in reply to it. And I can't remember who it was and what the reply was, but it is certainly here. Um okay, I can't find it right now, but it somebody asked something and I feel really bad. Oh, yeah, MFM. Our lovely MFM says hi to the chat, first of all. I can't be here, but hi to the chat. Second question, the game hasn't been played yet, but maybe talk about what we can expect from this weekend depending on tonight's performance. Man, I don't know. I genuinely do not know what this team will do. That's not a good answer, but that's all I got. Um We'll see what they do. So actually this weekend on Saturday, anyways, whatever the game is, that's the Devils game. I will have both Leon, wow, Laura and Ian from Locked On Canadians on, and they will be joining me. And it'll be our little crossover show. So I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun, and I hope you guys remember to join us. Or I know it's a Saturday afternoon, but hey, join us. Whatever the Habs do, I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun. And when you're done here, check out Locked On Canadians and see where Mike Matheson fell on the magic Mike to tragic Mike scale today. Um, so yeah. All right, guys, I am logging off. Just again, if you guys, everybody here is a lovely repeat, viewer and chat person. But in case this is the first time anybody's rewatching this or whatever, be sure to keep stopping by, subscribe, hit that like bell notification. You'll get notifications when we go live, and it's not always me, and it's not always just me. We have guests, and we have Andrew Berkshire and Mark Dumont, who are my fellow co-hosts, and we have fun here, no matter what the Habs do. Okay. Love you guys very much. I hope you all sleep very well, and I love this miserable team, and I hate them so much. Good night.